Diane, 7:30 a.m., February 24th. Entering town of Twin Peaks, 5 miles south of the Canadian border, 12 miles west of the state line. Never seen so many trees in my life. Yes, this Saturday, the video essay on Twin Peaks drops. Thank you for being here tonight. I know Twin Peaks isn't everybody's cup of tea. It's definitely a unique series, but I would be completely remiss if I did not do this because this is a top 3 show for me. And we are on episode 2 tonight. Last night we watched the pilot. Thank you to Papa Missouri for stopping in and watching it with me. I'll be writing solo tonight, so I will be able to talk a little bit more about what's going on in the episode. I really didn't want to talk a lot over the show yesterday because I didn't want Papa to miss out on any of the clues or any of the the character development because it is a brand new show. And trust me, I know what it's like to go into a new show because you're so used to watching whatever you like to watch, or if you're binging something, you're kind of locked in. And when you always start a new show, you always you try to feel it out. You try to see, is this something you're going to like? And so I really didn't want to interrupt what he was doing or how he's paying attention to it. But tonight will be a little bit different because I'll be able to talk a little bit through the episode. Remember, when we do a watch party, you need to load it up on your own screen. And then what we'll do is we'll follow the clock up here in the top left-hand corner. And that way we can kind of stay on pace together when we're watching the show. Like I said yesterday, the only channel I know right now that you can get this for free with a subscription would be Paramount Plus. You can rent the episodes. I think they're like $2 on Amazon Prime. But, if this is something you're interested in and something that you want to do, I'll probably be doing this a few times a week to kind of get through the series because there are 48 episodes. You could probably get a free subscription through Paramount for like a week, see if you like it. And that way you can test it out that way. It's better than spending $2 for every single episode. Like I said, we are episode 2 tonight. What's up, Anthony Blaze? 48 episodes. Yeah. Dude, it's really not that many when you think about it. 48 total. There's 8 episodes in season 1. I think it's 22 in season 2. And then there's 18 in season number 3. So it's only 40. 48 is actually pretty low. Now you got to remember though too, this is back in the 90s when especially the second season, they used to drop 22 to 24 episodes every single season. And the other thing is too, these are not a full hour. These are 42, 44 minutes, or whatnot. And yeah, so but yeah, 48. Yeah, I get it. Most seasons these days are 8 to 10. But again, those are usually an hour. Unless we're talking Mandalorian, that's like 22 minutes usually, because that's what Disney does to us. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to load it up on Paramount. When I click that button, the time will run. We're gonna watch the opening scene, the credits and all that. That way, it's easy to stay right on pace with the time. Again, thank you so much for being here on Saturday. I'll be dropping my video essay in Twin Peaks, and yeah, I would say it's a kind of in 3 different parts. Like part 1 is a little synopsis and kind of like what happens in the show, a little history on the show, a little background on the show. The middle part is last year during the summer, I was able to get up to Seattle, Washington, and we went to a bunch of different filming locations. So I was able to kind of visit all these different locations, and I kind of talk about them a little bit and what happens, during the series. There's obviously spoilers in the video essay, so if you have not seen it all the way through and you don't want spoilers, I would hold off because there's definitely spoilers for each of the seasons. And the last part of it is I was able to get into the Palmer house, which is like the big house that we saw in the pilot, which is really interesting because David Lynch, so he found this house, right, for the pilot. And if you don't know anything about how TV works, basically they filmed the pilot and they don't really film another episode for quite some time because they want to see if the network is going to pick it up. Well, after all that time in between, they ended up going to a different house for the rest of season one and season two. So when you look at the outside of the Palmer house in season one and season two, beside the pilot episodes, it is definitely different. But then he brought it back for the film, Fire Walk with Me, which is in 1992 that came out in the theaters. And then in the third season, The Return, that same house was used. So we were able to visit the house, and the house owner, Mary Reber, who actually plays Alice Tremont in The Return and the very, very last scene of the show. She actually let us come in. She gave us a full tour of the house, a bunch of history. I mean, we were there for like an hour and a half, and I cut it down a lot because I know it's a long time. So I cut it down to about 20 minutes or so. So the last 20 minutes of that is the entire experience inside the house, and there's some pretty interesting facts that she tells us, and tells us a little bit about her experience on set, in meeting Kyle and meeting Diva Lynch and everybody else. So, but all right, we're gonna get right here. We're gonna start in about a minute. So again, you want to load it up on Paramount Plus. Anthony, if you don't have it, I can send you the link and I can play it in a backstage and StreamYard if you'd like. That kind of goes for anybody who's a channel member. I'm always willing to help you out if you don't have it. So just let me know in the chat or through Instagram. But we're gonna go ahead and start loading this up here in a second. I don't have TV. You have no TV. If you want to watch it, I can send the link and you can watch it through StreamYard. You just gotta let me know, brother. It makes it more fun to watch with people than me sitting here talking to myself, It's the episode is 44 minutes. So we'll be on for 44 minutes. So let me know if you want to watch it. I can fill you in a little bit too what happened in the pilot, so you're not completely lost. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a show from the '90s. This thing was it was created in the '90s. I mean, it's an old show. I mean, we're talking like 30, gosh, over 30 years ago. And yeah, I don't know. Charles, I think he told me yesterday he liked it. He doesn't know if it's his cup of tea. I tried to explain to him that you really have to I'll send you the link. You really have to you got to let it continue. Like there's a lot of characters. It can be cheesy at times, which he saw a bunch of times yesterday. But again, you got to just kind of go with it for a while, and then see what happens, because it's not your typical show. It just isn't. I'll set it up really quick, Anthony, before we start then. If anybody else in the chat, if you're hanging out and you don't have access, again, it's on Paramount Plus. You can always sign up for a 1 year, or I'm sorry, a 1 week a free subscription, and you can check it out. I know a couple of people did that last night. All right, I'm going to pull this up for you, Anthony. I'll send you this on Instagram. Again, Anthony is a channel member, so I always like to help out channel members for the support they give. All right, I'm setting it up right now, and then we'll get started with this thing. You're loading up Paramount Plus? Well, you could, like I said, if you want to do it that way, you can, or I can send you the link, because I have it backstage, so you can watch it you can watch it that way too. Like I said, it doesn't matter to me which way you want to do it. Just let me know so we can start it. Yeah, so if you want the link, let me know, because I have it set up. And basically you would just watch it, through StreamYard backstage. Okay. I'll send it to you right now then. It's coming to you right now. I'll give you a minute, then hop in there then. if you are if you've never seen the first episode, I can easily give you a quick little brief explanation of what happened too. This way you're not completely lost on what's happening here in episode two. Um, I'll probably do that anyways because I know Anthony didn't see the one last night because we streamed the pilot last night. Tonight we're doing episode two. I'll probably do another one or two episodes over this weekend. Again, I'm going to try to do like 2 to 3 of these streams a week just to kind of watch an episode. They usually take about it's usually an hour stream or so because the episode's about 40 minutes. But I do like to let people have a chance to load up, which is why I've been live for 13 minutes. We have started. I just want to make sure that anyone who wants to watch live, we'll go through it together. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start the intro because again it's about a 3 or 4 minute like little not maybe not 4 minutes like 2 minute intro. It goes through the credits, tell all that kind of stuff. You know so we'll go ahead and start it up and I think we'll be good to go. All right, so let me get this timer set too for you guys. All right, we're gonna start it up. So we're 5 seconds in. Again, this is in the intro. Let me try to time it up perfectly here. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, so real quick update on just what happened in episode one. So basically, we saw that a high school girl was murdered. Her name was Laura Palmer. And hey, Lucy, how you doing? Yeah, if you it we just started it, so if you match it up with the stopwatch there, you'll be able to like catch right up with us. We're watching the intro, so don't skip anything. But yeah, so we met. So Laura Palmer was murdered, and we met her father, her mother, and then basically the local sheriff, whose name is Harry S. Truman. They started kind of trying to figure this out. We met a bunch of different families in Twin Peaks. We met uh, the Horns. So we have Richard Horn, or I'm sorry, uh, my God, Ben Horn and his daughter Audrey. And this hotel that we see on screen right now, this is Great Northern, and this is one of the bigger locations of the show. So, Agent Cooper, who's played by Kyle MacLachlan, came in to Twin Peaks. He's an FBI agent, and he basically is going to be working on this case with the local law enforcement, who include Sheriff Truman, Deputy Andy, um, and Hawk, who's another officer, and then Lucy is the receptionist. So basically, and then at the end of the last episode, we saw a couple developments happen with trying to figure out who killed Laura Palmer. He is addicted to the Douglas fir, which are all over this area in Suquamish, Washington, which basically is Twin Peaks. Coffee is a big thing in this show. So this is Audrey Horne. This is the so Benjamin Horne is a big, kind of like a bigwig in the Twin Peaks area, and he owns the hotel, the Great Northern, where they're at right now, and that's this is his daughter, who is 18 in high school still, which is a little bit odd, considering he's an FBI agent, and you can kind of see that they have a little chemistry. I actually met Sherilyn Fenn about 4 years ago at San Diego Comic Con. Really nice, a little crazy too. That was Andy. Andy and Lucy are very, they're very, almost like comedic relief, I guess, to a point. Every character has their quirks, though. So it's funny. I mean, he's an FBI agent. He comes in, local law enforcement in a small town. He's got all this stuff on his mind, and this dude just had one bite of a donut and all that information. It's just like it's the kind of show it is. Like I said, quirky characters. So this is the doctor who did the autopsy. Hey, Christina. So at the end, toward the end of the last episode, we saw a nerd girl who was walking along the big bridge, and so she kind of escaped, and it all happened like in a train car where the murders happened, and this one girl escaped. But right now, she's kind of like not a coma, but she's definitely out of it. So that's what he's talking about. So this is Shelley Johnson. She works at a restaurant called the Double R. This is her boyfriend, Leo Johnson, who's a jerk, basically. He's a train wreck. Now, Shelley. I can't stand this dude. The character is fantastic. He's such an a-hole, man, in the show. What's up, Kenneth Bird? How you doing, brother? Football's good. And if you're just in, we're watching episode 2, Twin Peaks. It's over on Paramount Plus. You sign up for a 1-week trial. It's free. Um, or if you have the subscription, you can always join in. You just link it up with the time on the top left corner there. Dinner location we got to visit with Sparkwood and 21. So basically, to summarize, so James and Laura had I don't want to call it an affair, but like they definitely were seeing each other, right? And she did not want anyone to know. Right here, he's going to talk about it. So we saw in the pilot he had the other half, but he buried it. And at the very end of the episode, it was found, and we don't know who found it. So he's obviously lying. And he also doesn't know it was found yet. And in the first episode, we saw that Cooper and Sheriff Truman went to the deposit box and they saw the money. So basically, he's selling drugs for Leo. He's in high school as well, both of them. They hate each other. The reason why Bobby and the guy behind him, his name is Mike. The reason why they're in there is because they went to there's this club or bar, what do you want to call it, called the Roadhouse. They got arrested for starting a fight. James is there because they pulled him over on a motorcycle on his motorcycle. This is Donna Hayward. She was Laura's best friend. So in the pilot, we also saw that at the toward the end of the episode, Donna and James um, started kind of making out. Yeah, you gotta remember this is from the '90s, so it's very soap opery, but it again without ruining anything, it takes some crazy. Like it was the first show that really took some crazy turns and took some chances. So I know again, I know it's you know it's It's not like the TV it is today, but this is one of the shows that started what we watch today. Again, I don't without giving out spoilers, but yeah. What's up, Johnny? Yeah, so this is James's uncle, Ed. So, like, and the other thing is too, in 90s shows, there was always a bunch of love triangles. Like, there's always a love triangle, right? In this show, there's a ton of love triangles, and I think Lynch did that purposely to have a bunch of them because every 90s show had something. So in this show, there's so many, which again, it just goes along with the quirkiness of the show. Nadine is married to Ed, right? And Norma is Ed's like longtime love, but it just never worked out. Nadine is obsessed with making Kurt runners completely silent. That's like her big plot line in the show. But again, other crazy stuff happens with that character, and we have no idea why she's got an eye patch. Yesterday, somebody carded the pirate. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Quick. Again, if you're just joining us, we're watching this on Paramount Plus because it's really the only place you can get it right now that's free with a subscription. Plus, you can also get a 1 week free trial. So if you like the watch parties, what we do, I'll be doing this probably a couple times a week to the end of the series. And there's 48 episodes. This is episode 2. We just started it. So this is Pete Martell. He's the one who found Laura dead in the pilot, and his wife and him live here with Josie. Josie is the owner of the Packard Mill. Her husband had died in a boating accident, so she took ownership. And she secretly is also seeing Harry Truman that we saw in yesterday's episode. So her ex, or not her ex, but her her husband who died, that's her brother. I mean, that's her sister, his sister. She can't stand Josie, and she shut the mill down because again she runs it. She shut it down yesterday with because of Laura's death. So Ben Horton is trying to buy off or get that mill closed because he wants to expand his business, but she won't sell to him. Josie won't sell to him. So like that's a completely different shot of the house than what we see after these first few seasons, except for the pilot. It's kind of interesting that they switched it. So that's kind of like the first big scene that we see that would might make sense, and that's kind of just the start. They have a very interesting relationship, father and daughter. She carries her on a log that supposedly tells her secrets. Oh yeah, Mike and Donna were seeing each other. I forgot, but she kind of broke it off without actually saying the words last episode or in the pilot. So they hate Dan. This is Dr. Jacoby. So Laura was seeing her. He's a psychologist. or- Yeah, and so again, another strange relationship. So he's the one who followed them and grabbed the charm. And obviously, he put the headphones on because they don't want the audience to know exactly what she was about to talk about this mystery. There you go. Episode 2 in the books. So again, you got to remember, Twin Peaks is a slow burn. It really is. It definitely, every episode you get more. They want you to think more and more and more. Um, Especially when you get into like the end of season 1 and going into season 2. So as of right now, we've watched this for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we've gotten to know pretty much every main character at this point. They've been on screen at least once for the most part. I think there might be like one or two that we haven't really seen yet. Um, but again, it's you got to remember it was made in the '90s, and once if you stick with it, I think you will like it. It just you got to stick with it. Um, Again, starts off very soap opera, like I said in the beginning, but by like episode 4 and 5, even next episode, there's a couple. I think there's a couple things in episode 3. But again, we saw two things there in this episode that kind of start making me think a little bit. Laura Palmer, who has all these different relationships, right? She's got a ton, and there's a lot more that we'll dive into. We see that her mom saw that the dude with the gray hair. Don't really know what that's about right now. There's a lot of mystery with her diary, which will come into play later in season 1. So I don't know. Let me know, guys. I'm gonna keep going. Unless I'm like literally the only one watching this, but I think it's worth a watch. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorite shows. So I'll probably do another one on possibly Saturday. We'll see. Sunday, I'll be live with Ryan Milky. We'll be breaking down the new Walking Dead series, The Ones Who Live. So we'll be doing that right after it drops on AMC. I think it probably comes out at 9, so we'll be live right around 10 or so. And then on Saturday, also, I got my Twin Peaks video essay dropping live at 9 a.m. And Saturday's technically called Twin Peaks Day because that's the day that Dale Cooper entered Twin Peaks. So, all right, guys, thank you again for watching. Anthony, we'll talk and we'll see. We'll see if you want to continue. Again, it's you got to kind of stick with it. It's a different type of show. Let's just put it that way. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, if you watch this on the rewatch, let me know in the comment section down below how you felt about episode number 2. All right. Have a great night. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.